Women of Reddit, what was something you didn't know about men till you got with one? Morning wood. Had absolutely no idea that shit just pops up every night till I started dating my first boyfriend. That when they need to go to the store they just go straight to that item and then pay and leave. It's something I need to learn, lol. That whole thing about the way to their heart being their stomach? Accurate. I once hooked up with a guy I met on Tinder, made him breakfast the next morning. He said no woman had ever cooked for him before, looked teary, and now we're married. How rarely they get complimented. I told my guy that I loved his shirt and he didn't even know what to say. He told me he couldn't remember the last time someone complimented him, so I've started looking for little, random things to compliment him on. My ex-wife was shocked at how short a phone conversation can be for dudes. My best friend called me once. This man literally flew across the country once to be at our wedding, called me because he was bringing me to work the next day. Still need a ride? Yep. Okay, I'll be there at 530-inch. Sounds good. And that was it. She sat there astonished and was asking why didn't we want to talk to each other? I really had no good answers either, it's just the way she goes I guess. Most of them are way into cuddling and having their heads rubbed. That balls don't typically hang at the same level, one is a little lower than the other. All those dick doodles have lied to me. How much trauma they tend to accept as simple facts of life. Definitely made me more invested in my brothers. If my husband has experienced X, Y, and Z and has thought nothing should be done or even said about it, how many experiences like that have the other men in my life had? How rarely men are given compliments about their appearance, and how even something as simple as, "Oh, you look handsome today," or a colleague saying, "I like your tie," can make a man's entire day. I had a boyfriend who was positively beaming when he came home and told me how one of his colleagues complimented his shirt and tie, which he rarely wore, and he went on to step up his work attire because someone finally noticed. He told me no one had ever said that to him outside of his mother. And I realized how little men are complimented on dressing well or looking put together. It made me so sad, because women are always hyping each other up, but men don't seem to do that. It doesn't mean men don't want or need compliments, everyone does, but they seem to so rarely get them. That they can literally beat the life out of, and slap around, their dong, but one tap of the balls and they're on the ground. I genuinely thought men held their penis when they peed because otherwise it would fly all around with the force of urine going through it. When they ask you to leave them alone, they absolutely mean it. They don't mean, leave me alone for 5 minutes and then start trying to comfort me or overanalyze the situation or get me to talk it out. I had to learn that the hard way. Doesn't get cold easily. Can be quite hard to open up. Loves cuddles too. Wants to be babied and taken care of too. Can be quiet without thinking about anything. How much some love to hold hands or be physical with hugs and such. Grew up in a bad environment and many of the male figures in my life were always cold or distant or flat out abusive. Trying to figure out a way to handle it as my body/nervous system isn't used to that at all. How freakishly strong they are. My husband was a normal-looking dude, didn't go to the gym, but he literally lifted a treadmill into the back of an SUV by himself. How easy they can be to please. A plate of food without being asked or a compliment/show of admiration in front of other people goes quite a long way. Just how long they're willing to put off going to a doctor/specialist. The mental gymnastics done to avoid seeking professional help is astounding. How they can spend an entire day with a person and not learn a single thing about them. Do not talk to a man while he's playing video games, if your hope is for him to respond thoughtfully. If there is a poop stain in the toilet, they will try to aim their pee to hit it. How little it takes to entertain them. My boyfriend once spent over an hour throwing rocks into a frozen pond because he liked watching the ice break. I mean, I think it's cool too, but for a whole hour. I grew up with dogs and had really poor sex education. I genuinely assumed human penises were like dog penises until I saw one in person and asked, when is it gonna come out? They love to hear the tea but make no effort to ask any questions or get any information to share tea lol. Example, him, oh yeah, Mark broke up with Jessica. Me, OMG. Why, what happened? Him, IDK I didn't ask. One conversation I had repeatedly with my girlfriend after I had been out for the day/night with my friends. Her, how is everyone? Me, they're all good. Her, any news? Me, no, not really. Her, nothing at all? You just spent 10 hours together. Me, well, yes, but don't know. Her, then WTH do you guys talk about all day? They love compliments and will hold on to them for years. I noticed this with my husband a while back. Whenever I tell him that something he wears makes him look nice, he'll wear it as often as possible. If he tries something on while shopping that I think looks good on him, he'll buy it and put it on as soon as we get home. I love that guy. How much smell is a part of attraction? Like I just thought I was attracted to him because he's funny and smart. Turns out I also like his smell a lot, and the guys I've dated afterward has to pass the smell good test to date. Who knew? Something in them always, or at least usually, keeps the sense of humor of a little boy. It's kind of endearing. How task/solution oriented they are in the way they process information. How they really just want me to be happy, in life and in bed. You guys are a portable heater, your body emanates so much heat and here I am with extremities that are stone cold. Plus, a boner doesn't mean you are horny. Boners are just random. That they are really emotional, love a cuddle and want thoughtful consideration just as much as women. I know this sounds ridiculous, but I was raised with men who didn't show their emotions or have strong opinions. The first time I got a proper boyfriend I was amazed to find he loved being held. Penises float. The first time I took a bath and a guy joined me, I giggled uncontrollably while poking at it to push it down so it would pop back up. My friend said she was amazed at how men can make anything fun and a collaborative project. Throwing rocks in the lake? How far can you throw? How many skips? Biggest splash? Or digging a hole at the beach? Every man will join in and make a hole halfway to China. You know how kids use their feet and hands to run up the stairs like a little monkey or a dog? Yeah, a lot of men never outgrow that. When I was prepubescent, I thought a penis was completely covered in hair. I mean, from base to tip, everywhere. Hee hee. So imagine when I found out. I was like, yikes. Grinning squinting face. Not being able to find things in the fridge that is right there, while being extremely confident it is not there. How happy they become when they come and catch a big spider/wasp/other creeper for you. Their smug faces and tough guy walk when they come save you is adorable. Sometimes I'll ask him to come catch one that doesn't scare me just to see that smile. That they just shake dry after peeing. I thought maybe they used a square of toilet paper to dry. No wonder they complain about us using so much of it. The absolute commitment to underwear and t-shirts until they're held together by fumes. Men are simple, in the way they communicate. They mean what they say and they say what they mean. It actually makes life a lot simpler. Clear direct communication goes a long way. When I ask, "What are you thinking about?" and he says, "Nothing," he actually means nothing. I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that men could just sit and think about nothing. My husband will buy something he needs even if it's ridiculously overpriced, like $8 for a tube of toothpaste, just so he doesn't have to go to a second store. Stores and shopping of any kind equals a bad experience. Also, if I send my husband to the store with a grocery list, I better know where my phone is. I can expect at least 3 phone calls, even if I send actual pictures of what we need. How Spartan y'all sleep. Nearly every man I've been with has had a top sheet and that was it. If it got cold, one added an open sleeping bag. I can't sleep without a top sheet, blanket, and comforter at minimum. Currently I have a top sheet, comforter, and 3 blankets. Grab some extra blankets, my dudes. When a gal sleeps over, she's going to appreciate it. How long it takes them to poop. Seriously? A minimum of 10 to 15 minutes? I go in and drop it like it's hot. Many men get an erection in the morning. Morning moves around the globe every 24 hours. This means that there is an erection wave that has been going around the globe without end since the beginning of any species with which this started. When they say they don't know why they feel a certain way, they actually don't know. I find it crazy and I couldn't trust it the first times. They take compliments very seriously. As in, you give them a compliment and they treasure it like the world. It's very sweet that they value them so much. But also kind of sad that they don't feel appreciated to a point where a simple, "You're very nice" or "You're really funny" is solid gold to them. That if you look at the balls long enough you see they are moving. Like crawling gentle waves? How to describe it, lol. I am constantly floored by how little some men know about their close friends' lives. I know multiple men who speak to their best friends super regularly, but could not say with certainty if they're single, what kind of work they do / where they work, etc. I don't understand it at all. But I just keep meeting men like this. They only pretend to not like gentle affection. Lay your head in my lap and let me pet you. You know you like it. You fall asleep within minutes. That men rarely ever receive compliments in their lives. I purposely go out of my way to express even the smallest compliments in case they haven't heard one for a long time. At my first job, I used to work mostly with women, then switched to IT and now it's mostly men. I was surprised to learn that guys don't hold a grudge as much as the women I worked with did. We'd have an argument on Friday. I was worked up about it all weekend and worried how it would affect our future relationship, then come Monday and boom, nothing. They genuinely seemed like they let it go. It's a pretty sweet thing. Most men don't actually know how to fix things. They just pull it apart and put it back together again and hope for the best. That 80% of the time they concretely mean exactly what they say, which is why only 20% of the time they understand what I'm saying. That they are not criticizing women's bodies as much as women are led to believe, maybe by themselves or whomever is driving this culture. They are far more acceptant of how women look like naturally than women themselves. This was such a game changer for me. That if you show them exactly how much you appreciate them, they are more likely to be motivated to complete a task than if you nag them. As a man, I'm always surprised by how many of the answers to these types of threads are women not understanding that men are human beings with emotions and feelings, and that it's possible to hurt them. We've reached the end of the video. If you liked this video, you would really help me out by hitting the subscribe button. I'm posting once or twice a week to make sure I keep you entertained. Thanks for your support, you're amazing.